the westernunion.com VIP Lounge.
It's 106 KML. How y'all feeling right now? I see y'all came out deep for this one today, so let's get the show on the road. Put your hands together for Lloyd.
Hey world, yeah, I know it's been a while. Thought I'd come around and let you know what's up now. No album lately, so my mind is kinda up, down. I still been taking care of my mama and them somehow. Disappeared from the scene.
I gotta say what's up to the people in the back row, you know what I'm saying? Nah, nobody's in the back. Yeah. How y'all doing? Everybody good?
Aww.
This my cousin right here. What the hell you? What the hell? North Richmond in here. All right, then they starting the set trip in here. All right, everybody just peace and love. Peace and love, right?
Welcome back.
How y'all doing?
Oh my God, I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm very, very honored to be here in this wonderful Bay Area that is like a second home to me and has been that way since my day one in the game. Took a few years away, came back with something that was soulful. Yeah. And I should have knew the real ones would be able to relate. So
off top, you know that's one thing. We literally just talked about that.
Can I get a finger snap?
Oh my God. Snap. Now, that's one thing we'll say about you, that you took a hiatus, you came back, but you came back and dropped a track that was so real, so from the heart, that anybody who's a lover of music got to be able to appreciate it. So when you dropped that record, for you, what was that moment for you? Was it like, oh my God, I'm actually going to take this step, I'm jumping back in the game, or?
Well, not only a lover of music can appreciate it, and not answer the question, but also a lover of life. Yeah. A lover of the fact that the real beauty of a person you'll never ever really see. You can only feel. Right. And the feeling comes from one's soul. And I think to be able to put your soul into something such as music or art or your work, I think it leads you to a place eventually. You might not start off there, but eventually if you really care about it, and you care about how it affects other people, it'll take you to a place that is bigger than yourself. Right. And then you'll just cherish the idea that, you know, you have been gifted with the opportunity to speak and reach out to people in a positive way and an encouraging way. Yeah. For me, I stopped making music personally because, well, you know, in a nutshell, I've been in front of a camera since I was like 10 years old. Yeah. I remember as a kid, I would make, go to the studio and I would just dream of going to public school. I had to be homeschooled for a while, and I just always wanted to hang out with my friends. I wanted to go places. I wanted to experience things that others would. Now, my blessing was that I had something else to do, and now I understand why that was important. But I just really, really value the idea that nothing lasts forever, so you cherish it while you have it. Right. My niece was born. My sister graduated medical school. I helped her out with that. Oh. I went back to graduate high school.
You never graduated high school?
I had never graduated high school because when I met Irv Gotti, I was 17. Yeah. I was in trouble. I had a warrant out for my arrest. What? I was staying by my homie house.
What'd you do for this warrant?
The police. Look, we ain't gonna get into that, but just.
He like, I might still have a case. So I just went.
Don't start digging.
Oh, sorry.
All right? Long story short, I was just kind of heading down a different path. Yeah. However, I got the opportunity to do something I love. I moved to New York, had to do community service the whole time I did my first Southside album, which is something a lot of people don't know.
Wait a minute, you had you sweeping the street?
I mean, I had to do all kind of stuff.
Well, you had a _1 single?
Man, well, while I was working on it. And then even after, I had to come home and do some more. It was really crazy. But, I never really had too much time to sit back and realize what I had, to reacclimate myself with what was important in my life. Yeah. And I took some time away just to hang out with my family a little bit. That's good. And, out of that, the first thing that I talked about when I went back to the studio to do some of my own music, it had a connotation of, this is me. This is what I've been going through. This is why you haven't heard from me. This is why it was important that I had to go through this, because it made me a better person. Yeah. And ultimately, hopefully, the good things. There is no real such thing as good and bad. There is only character from content. Yeah. So when you go through it, you learn from it. It makes you better, stronger, brighter, beautifuler. And that's not even a word. I just made that up. Beautifuler. But that's what I am. I'm beautifuler now. Exactly. All right? And so are y'all. And I just kind of, I think with so much going on that's bigger than me, that's in the world, my neighbor, her son was killed by police. My cousin is a police. Yeah. I travel to Dubai and the Middle East often, so I have a lot of Muslim friends that I adore. I have a lot of Christian background that I can also understand. Yeah. I have white friends. My first manager in music is a lesbian, so I always had people in my close circle that seemed different from me until I really talked to them and lived with them and learned from them. And I realized how much alike we are, how much of the same struggles we kind of face, the same ideas of, are we beautiful? Are we okay? Yeah. Is this meant for us? Where do we belong? Yeah. And ultimately, who are we, especially being an African-American child? Yeah. I just kind of, got to a place where I didn't care anymore. Not so much about how I made people feel. I just didn't care to have to look a certain way. If I didn't feel it, I didn't want to have to feel it. I didn't want to have to be somewhere if my heart wasn't into it. And that just led me to stop making music for a while, but I always wanted to. I knew I would come back and do something. I picked up a few instruments while I was away, which I'll play today.
Yes, the guitar.
I'm going to play something on the guitar for you. And I just kind of started to write. And the first thing that came out was just kind of like a storyline of just like my experiences. And I tried to put it into 4 minutes as best as I could. Yeah. But I never, ever, ever thought to release it, which is going into the question you asked. I never, ever said, this is going to be the single. This is what people are going to hear. Yeah. It was just pure therapy.
That's what I was thinking.
It was pure therapy. It was only for me and my family. Yeah. And I remember the first few times that people would listen to it, I would leave the studio. I could never look at people while they was listening to it because I couldn't handle them not feeling me or understanding. Yeah. I couldn't really I remember a music executive came by one day and I was playing it. And I remember I had to leave because I couldn't take him, and it was somebody I really respected. I couldn't take him being like, that's cool, but I got this techno shit that I'm about to play now, and this is it right here, and I just couldn't really deal with that. Yeah. But, a message is powerful. Words are powerful. They spread like wildfire. Yeah. And if they really mean something, someone else will find you and say, this is special. Yeah. And that's what my good friend Ghazi over at Empire, who is from the Bay Area. Okay. He actually hit me up, found me and told me that he thought it was special. He said that he thinks people will appreciate the music, and any way he could help, he was there. And so this is my first time releasing a single independently. Yeah. So it's just me and Ghazi and the team, and I got a few of the team here with me. Actually, some people who I've really been good friends with for many years, man, like Troy Marshall, who's filming me like he's never seen me
always
before.
Working. Troy always on the move.
Troy is a really good guy who you'll never really see. That's not his thing, but you'll always feel his presence in what you're hearing and experiencing. Yeah. And I knew once I realized, okay, you know what? Before I thought that I had to go to a major in order to get my sound everywhere. But now I realize with creativity, with a little bit of thought, and with smart money, not foolish and
throw it anywhere,
thrown away, just real smart money, good people, right? The same good people who works at the majors, I felt like I could maybe make a little mark, and I have to say that to be here, riding this wave, has been one of the most enjoyable experiences of my career so far. Oftentimes you can get to a place and you start to think about where you are, you look around and you feel like, man, getting here was actually more fun than being here. Yeah. But now it's totally different. It's like being here is just as much fun, if not more fun, than getting here, because now I'm able to share it with people and see how, how much it means to them. And it's cool, man. I think that no matter what age you are, no matter what color you are, no matter if you came from 2 parents, 1 parent like me, if you have money, if you don't have money, if you gay, if you whatever you worship,
right.
I think when you really get to talking to a person, when you really start being honest about yourself, and with another person, and you really can really talk to them, but just not at them, that you start to develop this thing called compassion for their well-being, for their livelihood, and you start to realize how much alike you really are. And it's really cool because I feel like it's a lot of division for some reason. I understand why, but I don't agree. I don't think that it's necessary, because I really think if you really care about everybody in this room, we all kind of striving for the same goal, which is to make it easier for the people who come after us, to make it known that we belong and that we are special and beautiful. And that's really what I hope to accomplish with something like True. I wasn't trying to sell a lot of albums. I wasn't trying to go platinum. I don't care if it go #1. I don't even care if you know what I mean? If you only hear it on the internet. For me, it was just about, man, Lloyd said something that was real, that was truthful. And
I think because of that, though, that's why fans gravitated to it. And we're like, yo, this is something different from what we're hearing on a normal basis right now. So for you, I applaud you for having the courage to put that out. And in its amazing record as it is. So can we just give a round of applause for True real quick? Look at him. He's still the 10-year-old Lloyd, like, soul touching song. It really did. I mean, the first time I heard it, I was like, hold on, that's one of those records you got to rewind and listen to word for word and read along with it to really catch everything.
Yeah, I had to catch myself. I almost start crying just now.
Oh, don't do it, because I'm going to cry with you.
Yeah, I tell y'all one of the most amazingly overwhelming experiences that I've had so far. And I've had some really, really just touching and cool moments that I would like to share with my children when I have them one day, that I feel like is really dope. The first time I performed True, I was in Augusta, Georgia, and my family came to see me. And I was doing this show with Jeezy, my man Jeezy. And it's the first time I ever sang it in front of a crowd. And it was a big crowd, and not everybody knew it, right? So it was the first time. I'm like, I got something new I want to try. And the music comes on, and the song starts off, I lost it all, my friends, my loved ones. But, in life, there's always a chance to grow from the struggle, from the pain, from the realness. And I just kind of start crying on the stage, right?
Oh, no.
And I don't think a lot of people know. What was crazy is later on I was looking for like footage from the show just to see if I was like walking around like I had gum on my shoe. You know how you kind of get old, you gotta kind of get the rust off. And I found a fan video who actually captured me crying at the same time. They didn't know it. But I mean, I was bawling, And I've never ever been able to just let go, like not care, not be so prideful in front of people as a man, not worry about looking a certain kind of way or whatever. And I get off stage and I'm talking to my family in the back room, green room, Jeezy's on. I said, man, y'all, I don't know if y'all knew this, but I was crying. And my aunt said, I was crying too. And I'm just like, man, that is that don't happen for me every day, you know. But I will say that when I first started doing this music, it was a lot of times it was just me in the studio. The dope thing about how I started was I started off with someone who had a very independent heart, who was Irv Gotti. And when I first started to work with Irv, he wanted me to be as independent-minded creatively as everyone else was. Ashanti was writing her own songs. Ja was writing his own songs. These guys was producing their own music. So what he wanted me to do was to take on the same thing. He never imposed. any single you ever heard from me came from my involvement at home that I brought, and then we produced to make it bigger.
Yeah.
But he was just like, I want you to be this songwriter. I want you to express yourself.
It has to be you.
And there's not a lot of 17-year-olds in the music business that have that opportunity. I mean, there's a team of writers. There's a team of producers. There's a team of creative directors who help to steer you in the right path. And the risky thing was that it was just me.
Right.
And, you know, on my first album, Southside, I had a few cuts on there, like a song that was called My Life. This is my life.
Yeah.
And I was just talking about the beginnings of my life, January 3rd, 1986, watching out for the fix. I took my first steps. No clue of how physical life gets around Uptown's Calio Projects, which is in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And that was like really like my favorite songs. Always. They never was the singles, but they was like my favorite. I still listen to them in the shower, y'all. Like just to kind of remind myself, like, how, you know, of the most humblest parts of me.
Where you came from.
And to be able to actually have something like that resonate with people on the radio in a time where it's so much pain that sometimes you just want to escape from this shit. You just want to dance. You just don't want to talk about it. You don't want to really care. You want to be numb. You just, you know, want to act like it don't exist, but to actually move towards it in order to get through it was, I think, the ultimate blessing of this opportunity. So I just want to say to everyone in here that you're blessed, you're beautiful, man. And if I die tomorrow, at least I was able to tell you that and mean it and care. So
can we knock on some damn wood though? Like, what you mean if I die?
I only said that not to wish that upon myself, but to realize that life is short.
It is.
You know, I've already outlived my father.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that life is short, it's precious, it's valuable, and it's so easy to take for granted.
Yeah, it definitely is. Now, with the single True doing very well, like obviously people are excited about it. What's going on with this EP? Because I know you said you're dropping an EP and later you're dropping an album. So what is this EP? What can fans expect from this?
Well, I'm really excited. I mean, I've been, I've been turning gray over this because it's like a passion project. Yeah. You know, it's just 5 songs, real humble songs that I created. I co-wrote a few of them. I played my instrument on for the first time and produced. I reached out to like my closest friends who I trust.
Are they other artists? Or?
Yeah, that's what I mean. A few of my closest friends. Okay. So I got a few friends who joined with me.
Nice.
And it was really cool. A lot of my friends started reaching out to me after they heard the song.
True.
Yeah, and it's just like, man, I'm in, you know, whatever you need, you know, and it's cool because whereas before, even though we would have a friendship, it would still be like, look, it's still gonna cost this much.
You gotta cross some T's and dot the I's. Yeah.
Now it's really cool because I'm coming out from an independent standpoint.
Yeah.
And I've got the support of some very, very, very intelligently talented artists. So I'm really excited to be able to allow people to hear, I wouldn't say a new Lloyd, but just
an evolved Lloyd.
An evolved Lloyd, and I think a stronger Lloyd.
That's
vocally, I think I'm killing it.
Yeah. I heard you. Well, I mean, we will definitely get a sound check a little bit later, so y'all can confirm.
You know, not to be too modest, but no, yeah, I think it's some of my best vocal work.
Nice.
I wrote a lot of the songs just based around an instrument, and a lyric, a story, and a sound, and then I bring in my boom bap and my bottom and my slap. So you know, I spent a lot of time with it in a short period of time, which was all this year. And it's called True, which is also the title track.
Right.
I'm also going to release it December 9th.
2 days before my birthday.
December 9th, I had the opportunity to open up the Soul Train Awards a few days ago. They did this red carpet special, which they allowed me to feature the song on. So big shout out to BET and Soul Train and the great late Don Cornelius, who was one of my first supporters. One of the first shows I ever got invited to when I was a child to perform on. And
just yesterday or a day before, weren't you performing in Vegas for Hillary Clinton? The vote
actually,
campaign?
that was last night. That was last night. That was at 8:00 p.m. Hillary's campaign reached out to me and asked me, they said they loved the song True, and they wanted me to come out, encourage people to vote. I've never really been politicized through my music because I think that when you're having a party, it's two things you don't talk about. You don't talk about politics and you don't talk about religion.
Yes.
But just the feelings of divisiveness and caring about, what will happen next, especially coming out of 8 years of history. I want to make sure that we at least have the best chance to continue a good legacy. And I had to do it. I did it. It was the last night before Election Day. So I went out, I performed True. I brought 40 of my family members with me who live in Vegas. I've been spending a lot of time in Vegas, back and forth.
Family everywhere.
I do. We're mutts.
Wait a minute.
We travel. We pollinate.
Yeah.
All right, and then we move on. And then we move on. We pollinate. We move on. We sow our royal oats everywhere.
I love it.
Yeah. So I got a chance to bring all the kids. They had kids and family members in the crowd. I invited some of my friends who are boxers, who I often, exercise train with, to come out, introduce me.
Is that what you've been doing? Because I was like, yo, you is looking a little buff under that sweater right now. Is it me? Am I tripping? This ain't the same 17-year-old. Oh!
You can feel it. You can feel
it. Lady.
Washboard.
Almost broke a damn nail, boy. Over here. Anyway,
so the kids, I brought the kids up. We did get a shawty, and then the kids all did their dances, and it turned into a big party. And then I left there, shot to the airport. I took 2 flights, red eye, to get back to Atlanta this morning, 7:30.
Oh wow!
Grabbed a rental car, shot over to the voting precinct, placed my vote, grabbed 2 Tootsie Rolls out the bowl. They was delicious.
Special.
That was delicious. Then I hadn't had breakfast, so I had to do the Tootsie Rolls. And then jumped back in the car, shot back to the airport, flew to San Fran, Bay Area.
Yo!
To come and holler at my family here in K-Mail. And I'm literally hollering at my damn family because my cousin's sitting in the front, North Richmond in here.
That's crazy. And then just to think that you had to go through all that to fly red-eye back home just to vote, to come back out here and be here by a certain time, that's big.
Well, what's even doper for me is that I've actually had the week off this week, right?
Yeah.
This was my week to kind of come back to the crib, work on the music, finish the music, because it's got to be done this week. I got a few little things to touch up.
Yeah.
But I got word that I had this opportunity to engage with people, speak to people at KMEL who I respect so dearly. So I just couldn't, I had to do it, man. I thought I would actually be able to be home to vote. I wouldn't have to go through that.
Yeah.
But, I'm no hypocrite. I think that, sometimes a lot of people my age especially, we feel like it ain't for me. Nobody's for me. Everybody's corrupted.
Yeah.
It's not really,
matter.
my thing. I'm not going to vote. But I just feel like so many of our ancestors have died and fought and were enslaved and struggled for this generationally just to have the opportunity to participate. So, I think it's just really my responsibility to at least be present. And, I know that change is sometimes a snail's game, but it's really about who's willing to last longer, in the mud to see it happen. And, I just told a kid the other day, he wrote me on Twitter, he said, man, you phony, man. He said, I'm going to unfollow you because now you supporting, these people, and I can't get with you, and it's all this and that. And I said, look, I'm not here to tell you who to vote for. I'm not here to tell you who to believe in. That is not my job. I am just here to encourage you to participate because regardless of if you were there or not, you will be affected.
Right.
In some shape, form, or fashion. It's almost even like with, Trayvon and Michael, it's like, even if you feel like it ain't you, it's not your cousin, it's not your neighbor, in some shape, form, or fashion, you could and will be affected. So why not participate?
Right.
And that was just my thing. And I'm glad she gave me the opportunity to do that. I hope that today is the first day that we elect a strong, intelligent woman.
It's crazy because I live a half a block away from the voting office, and I walked in, and there was so many women in there who were just so excited about the fact that we could possibly have a female president tonight. The hype around this is completely different than when it was when Obama first got elected.
Well, it is different, and for me, both of them meant a lot. Of course, Obama being a reflection of myself in so many ways.
Yeah.
I wanted to be present. But Hillary, to me, is a reflection of someone who is closest to me, who is my mother, who raised me.
Yeah.
I didn't have my father. My father was murdered when I was a little boy. She raised me. She was there for me. She supported me, and she went to school, and she worked.
Yeah.
So to me, I thought growing up that there's no way that a woman isn't as strong as a man or as capable as a man. In fact, a lot of times women prevail over a man because of reasons I have no idea of, because I'm not a woman, so I don't even try to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? She's the shit.
She's the shit.
Yeah. So
there it is.
So yeah, just I'm glad to be able to participate.
Well, I'm definitely excited. We are hours away from knowing who is going to be our president tonight. And by the way, just because you mentioned it earlier, Black Lives Matter, national anthem protests. When you see people having an issue with people protesting in whatever form or fashion they do, and then now we're seeing actual singers for the national anthem getting some sort of backlash or kind of just being like 7th Streeter, basically. What were your thoughts when you saw that? And I forgot who was here just a few weeks ago, and they were like, I think everybody should protest the national anthem. Nobody should sing it. What were your thoughts on that when you saw that?
Oh, man. Angry. Disappointed. Just baffled, I guess. Interested in why that was such a big deal. I also feel like, a lot of times you can care about something, it can be there, but until you actually say it out loud, I care about this, and it's there, people act like it just doesn't exist.
Right.
I personally think that just because you pretend like it's not there doesn't mean it's not there.
Right.
And I would, think that in a town, in referring to a 7, in a town such as Philadelphia, which is this liberty town, which is the town of brotherly love, which, is the town of so many diversities, especially of blacks. I would think that they would be, supportive of the community.
Right.
However, I that's not my stadium.
Yeah.
I don't want to go there.
Right.
I don't want to spend my money there. I don't want to be involved in that, but that's not my thing. I think, if I was in New Orleans and the Saints was like, y'all can't do that, it would be a
problem.
Yeah, but it's not like that. So I just hope that in due time, that maybe that owner of that team or whoever made that call,
change his mind.
Whoever made that call, maybe they have someone close to them who is a reflection of the struggle that they can say, okay, you know what, I can care. Because a lot of times when you don't know about it, again, if you don't have a police officer who is your cousin who you can talk to and say, man, what y'all be going through? Like, do you be nervous? Is it crazy out there? Then you won't have an idea of what they go through every day.
Right.
When you put your life on the line, if you don't have a neighbor whose son was murdered, then you won't have an idea of that pain, that void that can never be filled from overreacting or maybe not handling it much better, So again, I think fear, which it clearly is a representation of some sort of fear, fear of expression or fear of, I don't know, aggression. I think any kind of fear is always the greatest hindrance of progress, of success, of forward, of togetherness, of understanding, you know. And you fear something, it's usually because you don't really understand it, you know. And, you know, both fortunately and unfortunately, there are people who have places of power who have fear. Yeah. So now, you know, for us, it's our chance to show them why, you know, understanding is more important, you know, and I think it'll happen.
Oh, such a touchy topic. You know, I had to touch on that real quick just because in light of everything happening today especially, but I know we've been here for a while. So my last question for you before I let you go. Album. I know you're dropping your EP December 9th, true, but album, is it finished or are you still working on that? I'm just curious.
I'm still working on it.
Okay.
I'm about a third completed.
Okay.
And it's you know, slow motion, better than no motion.
Slow motion.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this took me almost 4 years to be able to express.
Yeah.
So you know, I feel like it was worth it. So whatever it takes, I think it's going to be worth it. And I've got too much respect for every person in this room to ever shortchange them with my music ever, you know. So if it take 10 years, man, that's because I'm trying to make it do what it do.
See, now you reminded me of Maxwell, who took 10 years to drop another album. I'm just saying, he still went platinum. I'm just saying, though.
Well, maybe I should bring the hair out here. And
don't
he don't have it no more, but you
I
know
know Maxwell. He's always gonna be a legend. Now, I know earlier you mentioned that you had friends on the album. Anybody that we might be?
Absolutely not.
Not gonna say. He like
no.
Nope.
Everybody want to know what's in the secret sauce. You know, I can't tell you that.
We can't get a sample.
No.
Just a little smidget. I mean, I could try guessing.
It's just like it's just like everything else. You just got to believe in it, trust it, and then if it come out later and cause you harm, then you could just like, I don't know, never buy it again.
I doubt that will happen. Well,
for now it's a secret. So.
Well, we are definitely excited for new EP, True, December 9th. Album to be determined.
TBD.
And do we know what the next single is going to be?
No, we don't. I think that True is something that I don't want to pull away from so fast, you know, because it's still is some people out there that, you know, haven't been enlightened a little bit. So I'm gonna just let it resonate for a little while.
Okay.
Carry over through the holidays, man, and just you know, hopefully maybe I'll do something a little special with it for the holidays. But you know, True is just
It's going to do its thing for a little bit before we talk about the next thing. Well, we're definitely excited. And if people want to follow you and see what you got going on, see any updates on what's going on with Lloyd, what's your Snapchat?
I don't have a Snapchat.
Okay, good man.
Yeah, I don't have a Snapchat, but I you know, Instagram is curly-headed black boy, of course. And Lloyd_YG is my Twitter. And then I don't know if you guys have seen the video for True or if you've even heard True, but there's also Lloyd Vivo. And I think we should break 10 million views this week.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so it's a blessing, man. Thank you.
I'm excited. Thank you once again for coming through, Lloyd. Always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Girl Shay Diddy, Lloyd. It's 106 KMEL.